Ooh, we should all save the chat for forests to visit in every country, everywhere in the world. Yes, Muirwoods. I love Muirwoods. So good. We're getting all that lushness into this space. So wonderful. Wow. All right. So I think that will be all for today, probably, if nobody else is showing up. I love to see all your shares about your favorite forests. It's not to inform you too much, but I thought it would be a nice way to kind of be in the space together, start in the space together. So somebody, yeah, Christy, I'm going to mute you if you don't mind. There you go. So we're going to start. First, I'm going to introduce myself because I know some people probably don't know me. I'm not going to say a lot because we don't have a lot of time, and I find there's more interesting things to do. My name is Laure Porcher. I'm from France. I'm in France right now. That's why it's dark. And I'm a therapist, and I'm a poet. I'm an artist. I used to be a dancer. I'm a textile artist. And I work with dreams and metaphors and family systems as well. And I've created this Moonlit Path course last year to help people nourish their creative life and be empowered and expand their perception and find the magic in their everyday life. And so those classes are intro classes to this course. And I'm really happy that you're taking them, whether you take the course or not, because I think this practice is really important and empowering in your life. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little warm-up, like a little imagination, physical, creative warm-up that will last about probably about half an hour, all of it together. And then I'll take you on a little like imaginative inner journey into your inner forest to find your nature, your core nature. So, but first I'd like us to kind of land here together because we're all in different time zones. Some of us are waking up, some of us are at the end of our day. And Zoom is always, we're all zoomed out. And so let's try to land here in our bodies to start with. I need it to, because I always get nervous when I welcome new people into my spaces. So first we can all kind of close our eyes and be in our bodies, because we're going to work with our bodies in this class. And start by breathing without changing your breath necessarily, but like breathing is good. Breathing is life. And I'm going to ask you to invite yourself into this space. To invite your body first to be fully present. And to invite your beautiful mind and imagination. And to invite your loving heart. To invite your ability to see, to hear, to feel, and your own curiosity about yourself. And I'm going to ask you to make a small resolution to maybe for an hour and a half, just suspend judgment about whatever happens in this class. And some of what we're going to do might sound or seem silly or, weird. And that's okay. But to not spend too much energy or too much attention on that and just, do things, see what they bring you. And then you can bring back judgment at the end of class if you want. It's always going to be there for you. And just be present and open. And then if you haven't already, you're going to open your eyes and you're just going to look around your space slowly and notice where you are. Notice the things around you, even if you know them very well. Notice your body and what you're sitting on. And when you feel that you're there, that you're centered, that you're in your space, you can come back and look at everybody else in the Zoom and be like, hey, hi. We're all together in the space. Wow. That's so cool. Thank you, Zoom God. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, as this warm-up thing that I'm thinking about, is you're going to jot down whatever you have to write with without thinking too much. 5 or 6 words that come to you when you think about forest. And it can be anything. It can be nouns, it can be adjectives, it can be things that apparently have nothing to do with the forest. Whatever comes to you. You don't need a lot of them because we're only going to work with one, but I just want you to have a panel. And so when you do have some words, I'd like you to pick one of them, and I'd like you to pick the one that feels better to you in your body to say or to hear or both, regardless of meaning. So you might want to try to say them out loud and see which one feels better to you. And of course, if English is not your first language, you can do this in your own language. I should have mentioned that. And we all have a personal vocabulary of words that actually really resonate with our being, with our physical being. Words that make us feel good, their vibration make us feel good. And usually I have a whole, I talk a lot about the different dimensions of words and stuff, but this is like a condensed version. So does everybody have one word that they feel good about? Yeah? Okay, cool. So you're going to write that word on a piece of paper, like something that you can put on the floor. And when you have it, you're going to put it on the floor. You're going to stand. You're going to take your time. You're going to put the paper on the floor. I'm going to do one thing after another. And I'm going to guide you through it. And it's okay if I don't see you. But of course, if I don't see you, I can't really know when you're ready to go. So you'll have to match my pace. And if you feel, if you're someone who feels very self-conscious from being seen through the camera, you are very welcome to turn your camera off. And on the reverse, if you're someone who that turning your camera off will be an incentive to not do the exercise, then I invite you to leave your camera on. So I'm going to guide you through some exploration around this word. And we're going to do a number of things. And then at some point, I'll put some music on and I'll let you explore deeper by yourself. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stand on the paper with the word that you've written. And you're going to take a breath. And just have the intention of, becoming an embodied version of that word, as if you were becoming the word. Not necessarily the meaning of the word, but the word itself. And the first thing we're going to do is you're going to sound the word inside yourself without saying it out loud, as if it was being said in the center of your body. As if someone was striking a gong at the center of your being, and the sound of that gong was the word. And notice how you feel. How does that word travel in your body without even the actual sound of it, like the audible sound of it, but within your body? Does it fill your body completely, or does it go to certain places and not others? Does it change your state? How do you feel with it? And when you feel that you're really full of that word, you're going to let it come out of your mouth. And it can be a whisper at first, or it can be loud, whatever comes naturally. And notice how it travels. How does it fill the space around you now? Does it fill the whole room? Does it stay near you? Does it change the vibration of the air around you? And as you do all this, notice whatever comes to you, whatever images, all the thoughts that you can have as you're doing this, all the information that can come to you. Just notice things. Now you're going to keep saying that word. Keep saying it in different loudness, in different ways. And you're going to start exploring all the sounds of that word, all the vowels. How do they sound separately? And I invite you to really explore the sounds, and even to the extent of completely deconstructing the word and it being unrecognizable. And notice as you do this, if your body maybe wants to start to move. With all these sounds that you're exploring. And what wants to move? Is it your whole body? Is it your limbs? Is it your spine? What's the rhythm of that word? What's the movement of that word? How does it move you? And if you need to step off the paper, you can, because now you're full of it. You're full of that word. And I invite you to keep exploring both the sounding and the moving, while still noticing what comes to you as you do this, what images, what memories, what emotions maybe, and to let your body resonate that word however it needs to. And I'm going to put some music and let you explore for a little while longer. And slowly at your own pace, you're going to find a good place to suspend the exploration. And maybe you can just stand a moment and just say your word. And be aware of all the layers that that word contains, all the things that you've explored in the past few minutes. And all those dimensions are always available to you every time you use that word. And so at your own pace, you can come back to the Zoom slowly. And you can take your time to write down anything that came to you during this exploration. And I'm going to share my screen. I have a few questions that are interesting. If you were to use that word as creative fodder, which is usually what I do, but again, in the interest of time, I might not do that today, but I'm going to share this with you. All right. So usually when I do this exercise, I have people write a story from their experience of that word, and a story that may not have anything to do with the meaning of the word, but more what came to them during the work. And we might not do that today because for several reasons. One is time, and second is because there's a lot of you that I don't know, and you don't know each other. And so it might be vulnerable to share those stories with each other, which is the ultimate goal of the exercise. But I invite you to do that if you want, either now or after class. And when I say a story, it can be like 3 lines, but it usually has a character that is doing something somewhere. So whatever came to you during this, any insights or any images, all those can be resources, first, to pull on when you use that word, and second, resources to start creating from. You can make art from anything. And it's interesting to make art from your own sensations and your own vocabulary and your own perception of the world. Because that's when you start a conversation with yourself and your subconscious. When you start paying attention, everything informs you about yourself. Even the words that you use to talk about the word tell you things about, your inner landscape and where you are in it. All right. While we're, I think we're still waiting for, sorry, my mouse is not working. All right, there you go. While we're waiting for everybody to be done, does anybody want to share something? Or if you have questions about what we just did, why the heck, what's the point of all this? You're very welcome to them. You can unmute yourself and just go ahead. Yes, Christy.
This was amazing. First of all,
Cool.
look, I love you so much. Anyway, but I didn't expect it to be as profound as it is, and it just keeps, like you said, it just keeps going. But I had a million words, but the one that I came in the forest that I came to that I used was life,
Mm.
and and it was funny because that word, as we sounded it out, had on its, when you said each letter, and each letter had its own, it spelled out um, loving, informed, fruitful energy
Nice.
out of nowhere. And it was like suddenly that had a whole life of its own. So
Yeah.
man, doesn't that translate to everything? And that isn't that just manure for everything that you're trying to do in life? So thank you.
Thank you. That's lovely. And thank you for sharing that with us. And yeah, it's endless. Like you can go into these kinds of explorations and go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you might need some practice, because that's the thing, is like we don't have practice spaces for this kind of work. I know my friend Tracy, who's here now. She has those kind of spaces where we just go into explorations and we just hear about, perceiving and just like feeling yourself. But there's not many of these, which is why I want to create more. Um, so thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else wants to share? Yeah, Trace, and then Kay.
Whoa, just whoa. I mean, I'm having one of those sort of perfect amalgamations of inner and outer happenings. So I was telling Laura that my day here in the Hudson Valley was bright and sunny, and as we got closer and closer to this class start time, this amazing storm has blown in, and you might even see lightning being flickering. It's like the storm is pretty much right over me as we're exploring, and is a part of it. And so I'm having this like layer cake of truth and wisdom and understanding. And my word was change. And it was beautiful to notice that the directionality of change is like rain. This is my experience of it today. And it wants to fall through me. And it's like it's in my spine, and it's like you notice all the ways where you just want that direction to stop because it's intense. So I'm watching this rain, and this word is like coming down through my center, and my dog is getting afraid and coming in for a hug, and there's like a nurturing here and change, and it's just whoa. There's like a meaning storm here today for me. So thank you for making that happen.
Cool.
Magical
Thanks.
things.
Thanks, Trace. Kay, you wanna say something?
Sure. My word was roots. And when the feeling was just pulling me down. It was good and grounding, but I thought, whoa, that's really heavy.
Yeah.
So then I thought, I'm bilingual. So I thought of the Japanese word neko. So there's two ways. Ne is one of them, but neko is another way to say it. So I thought, well, how would that feel? Maybe that will balance me out. And just like the sound of the word neko, there's like almost like a landing and a flight.
Yeah.
So I kind of followed that word. And then the imagery of sort of that landing of a bird and flying. And then I was looking around the room. I'm in my treatment room, so I have animals. And, yesterday I even talked about in order to move, you have to land first. You have to have a landing space in order to take flight or take that next step. So that was the rhythm. Very slowly, I was really embodying it while I was walking.
Mm.
So that was fun to play with two different languages and to feel the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Kay. Yeah, the Japanese and English are very, very different vibrations, and it's really interesting. It's really rich. Patty, you want to say something?
Hi.
Hi.
This is my first visit to this place, which feels safe and comfortable. I am curious somebody sent me this link and I don't really know why I'm here. I'm curious about, has everybody done this with you
No.
before? Who's here? I kind of, I read the email and it gave me the idea that we were here to develop our creativity through these methods. So if there's more to it than that, all right, I'll go back to my word just really quickly. My word was moss, and I felt like I was really low to the earth and could smell the dirt and feel the soft green growing up my legs. And to repeat the M and the O and the S's really took you to a vibrational place. So that being said, I didn't have any great revelations, but it was cool.
Yeah, thank you. This is not about great revelations, so you're fine. It's more practice. Like it's a slow, low change of the way that you perceive the world. So these classes are rather short. Like usually those are 3-hour classes. Not everybody here takes class with me. Fiona is in the course right now, but that's about it. And some other people know me, but they haven't done this work necessarily with me before. And it's a work that's about feeding your life so that you can create from it. And the course itself is 10 months. So it's like we explore really wide themes over a really long period of time, and we create from what we perceive. So all your perception of moss, what you felt, that could inspire whatever I don't know what you medium, if you create with a medium, whether it's writing or drawing. Last year was all about textile because that's my thing. But this year I'm opening it up to everyone. And so you might want to start, feel into, what is moss for you and what does that connect you to? And if you wanted to anchor it into a piece, start creating a piece around moss. And that's the kind of work that happens in this course. Is like you dig, it's like an unearthing of your own material, like of your own perception, so that you can manifest from it, whether it's creativity or whether it's in your life. Because obviously my wider goal is for people to have more agency in their life, to be more used to perceive like multi-dimensions of the world. And I'm not talking about, extrasensory perception. That's something else. But just like the dimensions that are in your world, like all the metaphors and all the the physical sensations that happen, also that very often we're numb to, we don't really take time to feel, so that can enrich your inner life. And from your inner life, you can create more, and that you get used to that process, so that also in your life, you feel you have more agency and you can manifest yourself, like who you are, more easily. Is that good answer? Like, does that answer your question about why you might be here? It happens. Like, I don't know why I'm here, but usually it's a good thing.
No, that was a good answer. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Shelley. All right. So if you have questions, I'm happy to stay after, if you have more questions or you want to clarify some things. But just for the interest of time, because I want to finish on time so that people can leave if they have to. Okay, we're going to go into a bit of a visualization. And again, as I was creating this class, I was like, oh my God, this could be 3 hours. Like I had to make selection, I had to choose some stuff. Because it's a really rich theme, and you just could do a lot of stuff in there. But I want you to have time also to talk to each other after. So I'm going to take you on a little ride. It's a visualization, meditation, imagination exercise, however you want to call it. You can do it. You can be sitting. You can be lying down. Though lying down is tricky because you might fall asleep, and that's always a thing. And also I like sitting because I like to be engaged in like what I'm doing. And also you can, if you want, if you feel like you have the capacity to kind of go in and out, if you want to be walking, like if you don't be like standing and actually walking through your space, that's also an option. But that's a little more like, it requires a bit more practice to be able to go into deep places while also being engaged physically in your space. And so we're going to go for a little ride in your own personal forest, in your own inner forest. And yeah, that's it. I'm not going to tell you more than this. I'm just going to take you there. Now that your body is, awake, and your mind is awake, your imagination is awake. Thanks, Fiona. Love you. So good to work with you for so long. Yeah, we have some alumni. We have one alumni here. And if you do take the course, you'll have more alumni because I have a few who want to take it again. Okay. So everybody ready? Yeah. So you might want to close your eyes for this because it'll be easier to kind of visualize if you're someone who visualizes. And if you're not someone who visualizes, it's fine. Like you can, also feel things. You can have things that come to you as words, like whatever is good for you. So we're going to start by standing outside of our forest in an open space. And it can be a meadow, or it can be a plain. It can be a desert if you have a forest in the middle of a desert. And just notice where you are. What is that space for you? The space before you enter into your forest. What's the temperature of the air? What are the sounds? And if you look around you in this space, in one direction, it can be in front of you, to the side of you, behind you, you can see the forest. It's expecting you. And it's not very far. You don't have to walk for a long time to get there. And maybe you start walking closer to it and start noticing what it looks like. Does it look inviting? Does it look foreboding? What type of forest is it? Is it a jungle? Is it an oak forest? Is there a path that leads into it? Or is it really wild? And as you come closer and closer, start thinking about what you need to go into that forest and feel good. Is it dark? Do you need a lantern or torch? You might want to bring a pet with you if it looks a little scary. If it's a rainforest, you might want to bring a raincoat. And you know, in this forest, there is one element that represents your nature, your deep nature. The one that is not contrived by labels or society or your education, just who you are at your core. And you're entering this forest in search of it. And as you enter, notice what changes. How do you feel? How is the light? How's the temperature of the air? What sounds are there? And which direction do you want to go to? And as you explore, notice what animals, what type of trees, everything that exists in this forest. What's the general feeling? Is it tame? Is it wild? And as you're walking, you start singing to your own nature and calling it to you. Trusting that it will come. And it can be anything in this forest. It can be a tree or a plant. It can be an animal. It can be a magical being. whatever comes to you. And when you meet your nature in that form, whatever form it's taking, you can greet it. And maybe you haven't seen it for a while. So take your time to notice how you feel when you look at it, when you relate to it. Is it loving? Is it scary? Is it comfortable or uncomfortable? Everything is fine. Just notice. What's your relationship? And you can say to it, I see you. And I know you're here. And whatever questions you might ask that part of yourself, now is a good time to do that. And it might be questions that would be helpful to you, or it could be questions that would be helpful to it, like, how can I build a relationship with you? How can I support you? How can I nourish you? And when you're ready, you can say goodbye and hopefully say that you'll come back to visit your nature and start making your way back through the forest. And you know your way back. You know this place. It's part of you. And notice how you feel when you see the light, or when you come out of the trees. And when you're ready, take your time at your own pace to come back to the Zoom, the screen, taking your time. And if you want to write anything down that might be helpful to remember, then you can do that. Or you can just stay in the feeling of it. Just checking. Melissa, are you here? Because I'm going to make breakout rooms now. I want to know if I'm going to put you in one of them. Okay. Is it okay if I put you in a breakout room? Okay, cool. Okay, so because there are many of us and we don't have a lot of time, we wouldn't have time for everybody to share. So I'm going to send you to breakout rooms because I want you to have a chance to talk with each other about your experience, because that's also very helpful and useful. And so you don't have to share, like you can say, I don't want to talk about it, or you can share about the first exercise if you want. Like if this is too personal, that's completely up to you, obviously. Just make sure you tell your, you tell your co-roomies. And you're going to have about 15 minutes. And you're about three to a room. There's just one room where you're 4. So you might have to do a little tighter. And then I'll see you in 15 minutes. Is there anyone that doesn't want to go into a breakout room before I send you? No, everybody's good? Okay. So, okay, Sienna, sure. Let me move you. This one. Oh, and this way, everybody's 3. There you go. All right. I'll see you in 15. You might have to click join room. Hey, Sienna, you wanna, I sent you in the room by yourself, but if you want to talk to me, that's fine. Hi. All right. Missing.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, polarity people. LEI people. Hi, French. Hi, French person. Hi, Emilia. All right, we have some talkative people in the rooms. They're gonna come back. The rooms are gonna close anyway, so they don't have a choice. There they go. All right. Welcome back, everyone. All right, was that lovely? Cool. Okay, so we're coming to the end. This is very short, like I'm used to, doing like 3-hour classes, really long. This is like, wow, this is already the end. So I'm going to just share my screen for a minute. So these are suggested follow-up. In the course, you would have dozens of those. You took the course for the whole months of like, asking questions, self-inquiry questions, and you'd have like creative stuff that you might make from what we explored, and you'd have adventures that you can take in your life and stuff. I give you 3, I think that's fine, especially since there's another class in a couple of weeks. So creating something out of what you found on your journey to represent your nature, like creating a physical object, something to anchor it in matter, whether it's painting or text, whatever you want, it's like, can be even land art if you want. I always find that it really helps me when I have experiences in either in a session with someone or in a group. I really like anchoring whatever resource I find in there into an object, into something that I make, because also making it, I find other things about whatever it is. Yeah, veering off path in a forest walk, like getting lost a little bit and seeing how you feel. Can you find your way? Like, and obviously in a place where you're safe, and you can even do that with someone. You don't have to do it alone. And yeah, what action can you take in your life to nourish and support your innate nature? And that's an open question. So those are things that you can, play with if you want to. I'm just going to talk for like a minute about the Moonlit Path, the course itself. And then if anybody has questions, I'll be here as long as you need. So the course, as you might have, if you have been on the website and you've read all this, and I apologize because you already know about it, but it's a 10-month course. It starts in late February, like the first kind of prep class is late February, and then it goes all the way through December. And every month we explore a different theme. It's like those 3 themes are actually one theme, like I kind of weave them in with each other. And those are our universal themes so that everybody can feel connected to them and can find a relationship with them. And also that they are bigger than us. So it's really interesting to kind of find our place in them. And so usually what happens is that we meet twice a month, for sure. Like we always meet twice a month. There's like 2 live classes. This year, there was like 1 3-hour classes where we did the kind of work that we did today, which was like really experiential, exploration of this theme of sharing and talking. I talk a lot, like it doesn't look like it because we did a lot of stuff today, but sometimes I talk a lot about those. And then 2 weeks later, we had a 2-hour check-in. We just met and where everybody shared about their process, where they are in their life, what's going on, because very often what happens is that life starts mirroring, like people's lives start mirroring those themes, like stuff starts showing up in their life that kind of resonate with those. And then for everybody, and just for everybody to have, to have connection around this. And that's it. And there's you have a resource vault with, as I said, like dozens of self-inquiry questions. Every month you have a lot of stuff to choose from to resource your practice and to try stuff and to nourish your creativity and stuff like that. That's it. I think it's pretty much like it's a long process. It's a transformation process that takes a long time. I like the length because I like the pace of it. I like it leaves time for people's soul to kind of not be pressured. I like to have a lot of space for movement to happen by itself without having to be like, okay, you have to, you have to find a solution. You have to get an answer. That's not the vibe of this class. The vibe of this class is like, how can I be with myself and really expand and really receive my own world, my own perceptions, my own inner landscape. And so you can sign up for the class whenever, knowing that there's an early bird price until late December, where you save $200 over the whole course, and then you can sign up after that until February. Once we start, I will probably leave the signups open until March, like beginning of April, but then after that it's a closed group and I don't let people come in. You can drop out if you want, but you can't come back. Like you have to choose. Like it's not like a come and go kind of group. It's like we have one group and we journey together, because that's also part of the work, is that you get to resonate with other people, with the same people in a safe space for 10 months, and that's invaluable, really, frankly. So that's it for that. And then the next few Playdates with the Crowns, which is those classes that I'm doing for free, are here. Those are the next dates. You can sign up for all of them if you want. I'm happy to see you. And that's it for that part of the presentation, which last year when I did those classes, I did a whole hour about talking about the course, and I'm like, this is not interested in doing that. I think this is way more interesting to me. All right, so we have a few minutes, and so I'm going to send you those slides. I'm going to send you the recording so you can have all of this. You don't even have to take notes. And everything you can find at my website that I misspelled. It's moonlitpath.space, right? Not moonitpath.space. But all the information is there, and I'll put it back in the email that I'll send. And that's it for today. And I'm happy to hear anything if you have questions, whether practical or personal. If you want to share something about your experience today, or like from your experience in the breakout room, I'm happy to listen and to respond. And whoever has to go, I'm grateful that you are here, and then thank you very much for coming. And for everybody else, the floor is yours. Yes, Ruth.
I have just a quick question.
Sure.
Or clarification, I guess.
Yeah.
Out of the first activity, you had said to write a story.
Yeah.
Can you say a little more about that? Okay.
So there are many different versions, like many different definitions of story. My definition of story is something that will bring images to whoever hears it and make them feel something. And so it doesn't have to be very long. When I do those word stories exercises, I can do them for myself. I know some of my students do them regularly. It can be like almost a haiku. It can be 3 lines of, I know that I wrote a story once for the word grin. And it was something about a girl skipping on the path, escaping the wolf, and having the sun in her teeth. And that was that was it. Like that was my story. And that was, for me, that was the story the word grain has. I experienced it. And of course it has nothing, it doesn't have anything to do with the meaning of the word. But what's interesting is that when you do that, well, first it's kind of stretches your imagination and like how you're going to bring your perception into shape, which is why I ask all those questions, like, if that word was a character, what would it be? Because that kind of helps you start that process. So like, oh, if that word was a character, like that, would it be an animal, would it be a person, like how would they look, and how can I put them in which space, like what would they be doing? And what's great also is that once you start writing stories for words, those words become richer in your own life. Because every time that you use them, you have all those images and all those stories and all those dimensions that open in your own perception. And when you use them, when you start talking to people and you are aware of the power of the words that you use and of the dimensions that are contained within each one, then it's much easier to bring people into your perception, into your world, and share it with them, and have them basically join you in your sensory experience of things, which I find way more interesting than having someone explain to me what their understanding of things is. If somebody explains to me their experience, it's not as interesting to me as if somebody like makes a story about their experience and then just like I get in there with them. Is that a satisfactory answer?
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thanks.
Cool.
I love to write, so I just wanted to, since I started to think about so many other things, I kind of need to go back to, how would I do that? So
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. Thank you for that question. Yeah, writing is a big part of the course. Like that's, we have a lot of writing things that we have to do every month, or we don't have to do anything, but like that people can use in their creation. All right, anybody else? Questions, comments, desires? Yeah, Christine.
So cool.
Thanks.
Cool. I just feel like resources, I get that sense that this is deep and it's just going to keep unfolding.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very excited about it.
Cool. Great. That's the idea. That's the idea of the course, is to connect you to more resources, to your own resources, your own cosmology, your own landscape, your own perception, because we need that in order to be able to stand in this world right now, right at any time, but right now especially, and to really be in ourselves and not get kind of pulled into everything that's happening. So that's my way, and if my way speaks to you, I'm really happy. You're very welcome. If my way doesn't speak to you, that's completely fine. I hope you find someone whose way speaks to you. But that's it. I think that's, it's important to me.
Or I would just like to say thank you for the offering so that we can experience part of what the course has to offer, and what we can witness. And then I just want to say thank you for this offering, and just send gratitude and love your way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Both the people who don't know me and the people who do know me, thank you so much for giving some of your time today. And if you're free to go whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel ready. Yeah, Laura.
A question. So thank you so much, because it was amazing, and I'm very surprised to see. I'm always very surprised to see what the subconscious can bring us whenever we just let it go, and it's always very wow. So thank you for this. Thank you for this space. And I was wondering if you do this every year, is this something that's going to continue time.
I hope so. It kind of depends on the very honestly, it depends on enrollment. It
Okay.
depends on how many people sign up, and because it's it's the work that it is, and I'm hoping to do it in this year, and probably I will do it the year after. Hopefully, again, it really depends on enrollment. But for me, it's a long-term project. It's something that I want to be doing. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks for that question. Yes.
Lorraine, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name properly.
Sure.
Right. And it has been such a pleasure. It has been so nourishing.
I'm good. I'm happy.
Feeling very held and guided and inspired. And I'd just like to express my thanks, gratitude, heartfelt. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you. All right. I know we don't want to leave this space because it's so nice, right? I will send you the recording. Don't hesitate if you have questions. You can always send me an email. If you're not signed up for the following classes, but you want to sign up, you can do that, of course. And I will see you probably soon. Bye.
Thank you, Laura.
Bye.
Everyone. Thanks, Star.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know you coordinated for Fran. So good to see you, Kate. Oh, I can't hear you.
Thank you for this offering. Very juicy.
Oh, I'm happy.
Loved it. Finally got to meet you. So
yeah, I know, right? We see each other on Facebook, we see each other comment and stuff.
Yeah, and I saw you went to Japan, so I was really curious. Yeah.
I did this program for group of Japanese people this whole year.
I bet that they loved it.
Yeah, it was really beautiful and rich.
Cool.
I'm so glad that you also. I'm so glad that you're bringing Fran to California. That's great.
Well, there was someone before me that had established this, and I ended up sort of taking the baton. Opportunity came, and I said yes, and I'm so grateful. So I'll see her next Friday.
Okay, great.
Oh, I'll let her know I got to attend and meet you.
Give her a big hug. I'm about to publish a podcast episode with her.
She told me that she had an interview with you, so I'm dying to find out more. Thank you, Laura. Bye-bye.
Bye.